There's an old children's film about a restaurant in Paris. Paris is a very sophisticated food culture. That's most of what they do is eat and drink. And one of the characters in this story is a food critic named Anton Ego. This critic tastes food at restaurants and writes a column reviewing the experience. And he holds a lot of power with his pen, can break or make reputations. And he's preparing to dine at a new restaurant, and the chef in the restaurant is talking with the critic about what he's expecting and how he goes about reviewing the experience. And the critic, Ego, says, I don't like food. I love food. If I don't love it, I don't swallow. He had a very high discerning standard for what he would allow to pass into his body. Now, his standard was based on what was going to give him the most pleasure. But this concept that we have gateways and portals from which we take in from outside and bring it and make it a part of ourselves, and that we should have a high standard and be careful and guard what comes in. That is a central theme of the pasuk that this parsha starts with. Shoftim v'shoitrim titan lecha b'chol she'arecha. The literal translation: you should place judges and officers at all your gates and all your cities. But why then would, if that's all the pasuk meant, shouldn't it say b'chol she'arechem, in all of your gates, plural? She'arecha, singular. Your gate is talking, says the Sfas Emes, to every yachid, to every individual. That at your gates, at your portals, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, the places where you bring into your body and make part of yourself something from outside you, something from the world around you. Place a shofet and a shoiter, place a shofet, a judge, to discern, is this something I should be looking at? Is this something that's going to make me a better, more refined person, a better husband, a better wife, a better parent, closer to Hashem, or is it going to distract me, bring me down, confuse me? What am I listening to? Is it gossip? Is it lashon hara? Is it nonsense? Or is it something that's going to elevate me? What am I eating? Am I making brachas? We don't just pop things into our mouths. We're royalty. We have high standards. So place a shofet, b'chol she'arecha, and a shoter is the discipline to make it happen, symbolized by the tefillin shel yad and the tefillin shel rosh. On your head is the shofet, and on your hand the bicep, ukshartam, you have to tie it there. It requires that discipline to force yourself to adhere to those high standards that you've set. We don't wear tefillin all day, but that's the ideal state. And imagine what a day it would be if you were wearing tefillin all day. Be much, much more guarded, much more careful. We know people who wear tefillin all day. There's the Zilberstein school in Yerushalayim, and we have a close family friend who all his children, they wear tefillin all day, all his sons. And that's, even if we don't wear tefillin, that's how we should try to live our day, with a shofet and a shoter at each of our gates. David Rosenfeld has recently started going to law school, and we were talking, he and I, about the experience, and I was recounting for him my own experience, that starting out I wasn't sure what is required for success. And at some point, an older law student pulled me aside and told me, hey, only one thing matters: the final exam. Not class, not participation, not your outline, not your notes, just how you do in that exam. And the best way to prepare for an exam is to see the prior exams that this professor has given, and to see the best exams, the exams that got the highest marks. Then you'll know exactly what to do to be prepared. And that changed everything for me. We are preparing ourselves for a day of mishpat, a day when we will be judged, when we will be examined by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The best way to prepare for a day of being judged is to start judging ourselves. to start being Shoftim v'Shotrim. That's why we always read this in the month of Elul. Let's start judging ourselves. Are we guarding what we're bringing in and what we're bringing in? Are we being as discerning? Are we adhering to the standards that we've set with our shoter, our bicep, our discipline? And if we do that, we will raise the standards for us. We will raise that adherence to the standards. We will, by judging ourselves, to prepare ourselves for this judgment, Hashem will judge us favorably, and we will all be zocha, Ezras Hashem, to a year, a ksiva v'chasima tova, a year of bracha v'atzlacha and geula for all of Klal Yisrael.